I'll call the meeting to order at 12:34 p.m. And I'll do the territorial land acknowledgement first. Before our meeting gets underway, I would like to formally recognize the traditional keepers of this land, and specifically our neighbors of the Alderville First Nation, with a formal territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Alnwick-Haldeman is located on the Mississauga and Anishinaabe territory and is the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe. The Township of Alnwick-Haldeman respectfully acknowledges that the Mississauga Nation are the collective stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. So now at our first regular meeting, we have our moment of silence for all our fallen soldiers and citizens. And at this time, we would especially like to remember the 215 children and their families and their First Nations reserves who are unidentified children at the Kamloops, BC residential school. It's important that we remember them, and hopefully those identifications can soon come to some closure for the families. Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. Item 5, approval of the agenda. We do have an addendum to put on this agenda. I'll read it. The addendum is for the approval of the application by Richard Novak to become a member, the Alnwick-Haldeman Township community member for our physicians recruitment committee. And that will be subject to the finalization of his police check. So if we can add that to the agenda as well, Yolanda. And I'll call for the approval of the agenda of Thursday, June 3rd. Be approved as circulated with the agenda. Have a mover, please.
So moved.
Deputy Mayor Gibson, second.
Councillor Hogg will second.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item 6 is our delegation, and this is a presentation by Graham Soley, Director of Market Development, Cogeco Connection, Inc., re the broadband expansion in Alnwick-Haldeman in the Lakeport Shelter Valley area. So welcome, Graham.
Thank you very much.
Exciting for our municipality.
Absolutely, Your Worship. We are absolutely thrilled, and on behalf of Cogeco, I'm thrilled to be here today to be able to present to you. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, I'm just going to ask for a motion to get you to the floor.
No problem.
Have a mover, please, that we can have Graham on the floor and receive and file the presentation. Councillor Phillip, thank you. Second.
I'll second that, Councillor Booth.
Thank you. Okay.
Great. So I can start, Your Worship?
presentation.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. If everyone can let me know when you can see my presentation.
We can see it.
Fantastic. So we prepared this presentation. Obviously, it's twofold. It's to present to council and yourself today, Your Worship, but also knowing that your residents will be looking at this presentation online or in the future. We've put it together in a format that I think will be very helpful. This is the first of numerous expansion programs that Cogeco is currently undertaking. So I added as a last point here some frequently asked questions that typically come up for our residents during, before, and after a build. And we could probably, if we have time, I'll try to address some of those today. What I'd like to quickly do is just talk a little bit about Cogeco Connection. And for those of you who may not know, or for the residents that do not know, Cogeco Communications is the 8th largest cable operator in North America, and we have 60 years of experience in delivering telecommunications services. Cogeco Connection specifically in Ontario has a footprint of more than 165 communities within 87 municipalities. And we're speaking specifically in broadband terms today, but across that footprint, 98% of our footprint has access to broadband speeds of 120 megabits per second, and 60% of our footprint has access up to 1 gigabit. Obviously, as part of our expansion plans, our goal is to increase the amount of residents that have access to that 1 gigabit, and that's what we'll be speaking about today. In 2019, Cogeco announced that they would invest more than $1 billion over a 4-year period to expand and enhance their broadband network in both Ontario and Quebec. And this coincided with the launch of Cogeco's intent to submit applications to the various provincial and federal broadband funding programs that were out there, most notably the CRTC, ISED, which is the federal program, ICON, which is the provincial program, and then there's some smaller programs such as SWIFT and EORN, et cetera. And then over the past year, Cogeco has submitted a significant number of applications to these programs. And as of May 2021, with the announcement of the recent rapid response awards that we've had, Cogeco has been awarded 23 projects. So we're very active in the space. We've been very successful in the space, and ICON, which is the provincial program, and ISED standard UBF are still, we're still waiting for those announcements. So our expectation is that more projects that Cogeco has submitted will get approved because of the current win rate that we have. And I think we have a good understanding of the projects that we've put together and done our due diligence to make sure that they had a good chance of obviously being successful. And the big thing is, more than ever, Cogeco is committed to contributing to the economic recovery and the growth of the areas that we serve and that we aspire to serve, and particularly proud of their focus on serving the communities in rural areas such as the Lakeport that we'll talk about today, but traditionally underserved and unserved areas. So there really is a commitment from Cogeco to do their part to help to close the digital divide, and I'm happy that I'm here to talk about one of those initiatives today. Speaking specifically about the ISED Rapid Response Stream, just to give some background, it was a $150 million project stream that the federal government announced in the fall. And it really was to enhance broadband service in a very short amount of time. So they were looking for shovel-ready projects that could be turned around very quickly. And they had contributions that they would offer to make up to $5 million for projects that could quickly turn around and connect and have a major impact on networks in rural areas. So connecting residents, communities, and helping them reach speeds of the minimum universal standard requirement, which is now 50 megabit download and 10 megabit upload speed. So that was kind of the basic requirement. Cover as much as you can and do it as quickly as you can, and you'll be considered. And on May 26th, ISED did announce that Cogeco was successful in funding for 2 projects, specifically in Northumberland County, that will connect approximately 600 homes across 6 rural communities in the township of Cranby and the township of Haldimand. And I want to note that letters of support were a critical part of this process. And as part of our applications to not only ISED, but all the current active RFPs that are out there, letters of support are a critical piece. And I, on behalf of Cogeco, would like to say that we really appreciate the support that we were able to receive from the township, Your Worship, as well as the county for these applications. We've been working specifically with Northumberland County over the last 2 years. I've been working directly with Tony Pollock, who's the director of IT, when we originally started preparing our projects and submissions that we wanted to put forth. And the goal was for Cogeco to share their strategy on areas that they would like to target And we worked with Tony and the county to understand what were the connectivity gaps in the county, what were their strategies, so that as Cogeco put a proposal together, we were able to look after not only Cogeco's needs, but try to look after the needs of the county as well. And the goal was about collaboration. The goal is not to win a project and then say, surprise, we're here. The goal was to say, we've done our due diligence, we've built relationships, we understand the needs of the communities that we're trying to serve or targeting to serve, and that there is documented support. So we sincerely appreciate the support, Your Worship. It was absolutely critical in the win that we're about to talk about. And that win, thank you. And that win really is, for speaking today, is a project that will primarily connect the community of Lakeport. And when I say primarily, because there are some homes we're building out of Colborne, we have a network established in Colborne that will come down, and then along the way we'll connect homes. And the goal is we're going to be enabling service to approximately 101 premises in the community of Lakeport. So the majority of those homes are in Lakeport, but we will be connecting homes along the way as we come out of Grammy. And the goal, this project will be a fiber to the home solution, and that's a key piece here. So we talked about the universal standard being 50/10. We'll be doing a fiber to the home solution that at the top end speeds will be able to provide service at a symmetrical 1 gig. So that means 1 gigabit download, 1 gigabit upload should a resident choose to take that package. So far exceeding any of the minimum requirements that are currently out there, and pretty much future proof from a technology perspective. It will also enable residents to access Cogeco's new Epico TV service, which is an IPTV service, as well as our phone packages. So the residents in the community that are impacted by this project will now have access to the full suite of the Cogeco products and the best of the best that Cogeco can provide. And the work is to be completed no later than March 31st, 2022. So it's an extremely quick turnaround, again, knowing that these announcements were late May. But again, the goal was when we submitted these projects that they needed to be shovel ready. So we had a shovel in hand as we were preparing the application. And the goal now will be to swiftly move forward to be able to get this project underway, to make sure that obviously we cannot be later than that March 31st. So as the design is completed, we move further into the process, we'll have firmer dates in terms of what an actual completion date will look like in that community. If we talk about internet packages specifically, which is what the RFP is really looking to provide, this chart here just really is for residents to have an understanding of the different types of packages that Cogeco offers, starting at an Ultra Fiber 90 unlimited. All our packages are unlimited from a bandwidth perspective, but you can see from a monthly rate from $89 to $113. That is standard pricing. That does not include promotions. That does not include bundle rates. That is typically if you had one service with us and you weren't on a promotion. As of today, those would be the rates that you're looking for, and I'll talk about it shortly. But as we go to launch this service, obviously it's Cogeco's intention to connect as many residents in this area as possible, which means there'll be some great offers out there, lots of opportunities for residents to see significant savings over the rates here. But this just gives you an idea of the types of service that will be provided and the rates that you'd be looking at. So from a next steps perspective, Cogeco and I said we're now engaged in finalizing the statement of work. So that's kind of the work that's happening in tandem as now the design process and all our background work is starting. And when we say finalize, it's basically just aligning on the design, aligning on the path, and aligning on exactly all the funding that ISED will provide. We're going to work directly with the township and the county to align on construction requirements. So in the coming weeks, we'll be reaching out. I'll be introducing Your Worship, whoever you'd like us to work with on your end. We'll introduce the design team, the construction team, the contractors we'll be using, and really start talking about getting those next steps together, which would really focus on expediting permitting process if possible, and just getting ourselves ahead of any potential issues that might put timelines in jeopardy so that we can get ahead of them. But also just being aligned so that as Cogeco is working, obviously we're not overstepping any requirements that the township or the county may have. So we'll be doing that in the coming weeks. And then the marketing team, as we get closer to launch, as I mentioned earlier, we'll start providing details on offers and the services that are available. And trust me, we will find the residents. They won't have to find us. Our goal is to connect as many people as possible. We'll be very active in making sure the residents are very clear on what they need to do to be able to subscribe to services should they wish. And then last, from a couple of frequently asked questions, I put this together, but really the questions we get all the time is, how do I find out as a resident? How do I find out if my home is in that service area? Am I going to be included As we're still working through the statement of work, I would say give us a couple of months as we work through the process, but come early fall, you can call the call center. You can speak to an agent, you can provide your address, they'll be able to go into a mapping tool and let the resident know if their home is included. At the same time, our website is currently being updated, so residents will have the opportunity to go online and do that themselves, where there'll be a tool where they can put in their address and their postal code, and it will let them know if their service will be provided. A lot of questions we also ask is, okay, I called, I checked, I'm not included. Why not? And when will we be expanding? And obviously projects such as this have to stop somewhere. They usually focus on density, but it gets you to a point which allows you then to expand further. So these projects that we put forward were based on Cogeco's maximum commitment of what they could provide in terms of funding from a business case perspective and what was available from the funding program that you're applying to. These two things together put a project scope together with the number of homes you could connect. So at this point, if a resident is not included in a project area, it means nothing is imminent to get service there, but it doesn't mean it won't happen. What these networks will do is they'll be open access. Cogeco must wholesale their backbone should a third-party provider want to tap into that, or a fixed wireless provider wants to come in and provide service. They will be options. We're just now much closer to the residents in that area today. If we're not there, we will absolutely be looking to expand further. And a lot of these current broadband funds are evolving. And it's possible that in the coming months, especially with the Ontario government announcing an increase in funding for broadband and wanting to expedite connections to the 2025 timeline, you could see major change and shifts in terms of the policies of how they want to distribute funding and the rules that they're looking for, which could facilitate a lot of this work getting done much quicker. Again, this is still all up in the air, but we understand that there could be some additional projects or changes that could come with the scope that would allow customers that aren't currently, our residents that aren't currently in these project areas, to get connected sooner than they would have otherwise. A lot of them ask, what will construction look like? What if my property is damaged? We talked about Cogeco, 6 years of experience. We are very experienced in the work we do, especially from an expansion perspective. We have many active expansion projects on the go right now. And we do everything to make sure that we ensure full remediation when a project is done. So any work that's done, you're digging up property, you're on a property line, you're going through, full remediation will be done. And Cogeco will work directly with the township and the county to make sure that it's being closely monitored, and rest assured that all steps will be taken to make sure we minimize any challenges or issues related to this exciting new build. The last thing Cogeco wants to do is cause a concern for a resident when we're trying to build a relationship and bring on a customer for life. So Cogeco will make sure that all steps are taken to make sure the project runs very smoothly and there's minimal impact to the residents other than being able to obtain these great services. And lastly, how will I know when to subscribe? I've mentioned it a couple of times. We'll find you. We'll have a multifaceted marketing approach that would be door-to-door mailers. We have a door-to-door team. Now, COVID aside, we'll see what happens with COVID over the next few months, but typically we have a door-to-door team that would go and speak with residents and act as consultants to explain what packages were available and to take orders right there. We also have a community events team that works very closely in the communities we serve. Typically, they could be barbecues, they're big fanfare launches. So we could expect those types of launches in your area as we get closer to a launch. And again, we will find you and make it easy for you to understand, or for the residents to understand what is available to them, the costs and the timeline to get installed. And that is the presentation that I have today, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Graham. I'm going to open it up and see if council has any questions or comments for you. Any council members have anything? Any questions for Graham? I'm not seeing any yet.
Just have a comment.
Okay, this is Councillor Philip.
Yes, thank you for your presentation, Graham.
Thank you.
I'm certainly excited about the possibility of hooking up more of our residents and improving their communication network in Ottawa Calderman. And we've had many conversations with our residents about getting this done, and I'm very excited about the fact that this is going to be cost effective and timely. pitter patter as far as I'm concerned.
Pitter patter, that is the ISED rapid response mantra. So pitter patter, we are moving and we appreciate the feedback. We are thrilled to be able to do this. We understand that closing the digital divide is paramount to be able to get these, these communities kind of on the same path as the urban centers that we're seeing. And we know how it can absolutely change the trajectory of not only a community, but the townships and the counties that we're aspiring to serve. So thank you for those words. We're pitter pattering.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none. Thanks, Graham. We often get concerns, emails, phone calls, etc., from people who are waiting for service. So in this area, we'll have some that'll be very pleased to get connected, especially since all the many people who have been working at home and the children are all working from
Absolutely.
home. It's caused a lot of disconnects.
Yes.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, would you like us to put this on our website at this time?
Absolutely, you may. And I created it in the way that it would be, it would allow your residents to have a very easy way to kind of follow through and answer some questions. It gives them the phone number and all the information they require.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. So we can do that for you then as well. And
Thank you.
And for our residents. So more so. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks for taking the time to come and speak with us here in Alma-Calderman, and good luck on the project. We're looking forward to it.
We will be in touch and we will be moving quickly. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great
Thank
day.
you, Graham.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So if I can call for the vote on that motion to receive and file this presentation, and we'll put it on website. Deputy Mayor Gibson.
Yay.
Councillor Phillip.
Yay.
Councillor Booth.
Yay.
Councillor Hogg.
Yay.
And in favor myself, that's carried. Item 7 is approval of the regular council session minutes of May 20th, 2021. Could I have a mover, please?
So
Moved by Deputy Mayor Gibson. Second?
I'll
Councillor
second
Phillip.
that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Calling for the vote. All in favor? Deputy Mayor Gibson.
yay.
Councillor Phillip.
Yay.
Councillor Booth.
Yay.
Councillor Hogg.
Yay.
And myself, that's carried. Is there any business arising from the previous minutes, May 20th? I don't see any. So our first staff report, item 9, is the fire department. And this report's FD 2021-4 from Rob Gord, acting fire chief, dated June 3rd. Be it resolved that report number FD 2021-4 from Rob Gord, acting fire chief, dated June 3rd, 2021, Alma-Calderman Fire Department updates be received and filed. Could I have a mover, please? And then we can get them to the floor.
I'll make that motion, Councillor Boo.
Thank you. Second by Deputy Mayor Gibson. Okay. Are you going to address this today, Troy, if there's any questions, since Rob's not in?
Yes, I do my best to answer any questions from the report, and then I'll add a couple things when council's ready.
Okay. Any questions from council on this report? Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Yeah, thank you. Through you to Troy, and you may not be able to answer this, Troy. I'm just wondering, is the fit testing for the mask done internally?
You are right. I won't be able to answer that. So,
Okay.
yeah, it'd be unfair for me to comment on that. So, I will get an answer for you though.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further? No. Anything on the incidents report? That's for April 2021. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote on those two reports. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
And myself, that's carried, with Troy to find out about if or not the masks were internal. Okay, Troy, you have a couple other things?
Well, with fire, I will mention, and I know we'll talk about it later on, but we did hire a new fire chief, Dave Dawson. He brings over 20 years of fire service experience with a wealth of management and leadership skills. So I just wanted to make that quick announcement. He'll be at our next council meeting on the 17th. But with all that being said, I'd like to publicly thank Deputy Chief Rob Gord for doing everything that he has done over the past 6 months with the department and keeping us operating very smoothly. So I just really think he needs to be publicly recognized for all the extra time and effort he put in to keep the department going. So thank you to Deputy Chief Rob Gord, and I would like to publicly welcome Fire Chief Dave Dawson.
Thanks, Troy. And I think that, well, I know council really appreciated all that Rob did as well. And so please add that when you're speaking to him, that on our behalf, we were happy he stepped up to the plate and did what he did. So our next item is item 10.1, the Building and Planning Department. Be it resolved that the report from Daryl Hall, CBO, MBEO Planning Assistant, dated June 3rd, 2021, rebuilding permit summary, May 2021, be received and filed. And Daryl's reports are here. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move that, Councillor Phillip.
Okay, and I see Councillor Hogg as second. Okay. So there's council report for May, that with the May permit summary. Daryl isn't here, so any questions or concerns? It looks like we're doing pretty good this year.
Sure are.
Yeah, 29 single-family dwellings to 2021. In the whole of last year, we had 54.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
No. Okay, any questions or comments on this one? Not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself, so that's carried. And item 10.2 is a report from Daryl Hall again, and it's a bylaw complaint update. Be it resolved that the report from Daryl Hall, CBO, MBEO, Planning Assistant, dated June 3rd, 2021, re-bylaw complaint update, be received and filed, and further, he needs council direction on this, so we can get it to the floor and discuss it. Can I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Gibson, second by Councillor Philp. Okay. Troy?
Yeah, well, I'll answer any questions regarding this, but the property in question, all the work has been completed and it looks good, and it's still maintaining cleanliness, so everything looks good. So now we just down to the financial component, and as you can see, the cost is a little over 7,000. So that will be recovered through tax.
Pretty well self-explanatory all through, but I just didn't know if council had any comments or questions. Okay, so I don't see any, so I'm going to call for the vote that I guess it's just proceed or receive it.
Yeah, that's right.
Done. Okay. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself, that's in favor, carried. Item 11.1 is a report from Chris Kerwin, Parks and Recreation Manager, dated today. Re the Sandy Bay Park Playground installation. And he's given us 4 options here. We've been working a while on trying to get this job done, haven't we, Chris? And anyways, I'll get the motion. Be it resolved that the report from Chris Kerwin, Parks and Recreation Manager, dated June 3rd, 2021, re Sandy Bay Park Playground installation be received and filed, and further that it'll be council picking one of the options. So we'll add that once we discuss the options. Could I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Gibson, second by Councillor Booth. We're pretty close. Okay, Chris.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll briefly go over my report here. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to stop me and ask. So a little bit of a background on this property. Sandy Bay Park is located at 110 Sandy Bay Road, north of Roseneath. It's a Rice Lake waterfront park, and it becomes very busy during the summer months by residents and tourists as well. This project was budgeted in 2020. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the project did not get complete. We then budgeted for it again in 2021. Last fall, our Public Works Department worked on a parking lot and installing some cedar posts to prevent vehicle access right into the park, which was an issue in the past. So the transformation has already begun. I've contacted 3 different companies across the province of Ontario for quotes. I did receive 4 different quotes from 2 of those companies. It was a timely task. I don't know if it's due to COVID-19 or not, or several other projects not being completed last year that these companies are getting kind of swamped this year with double the usual workload. So $55,000 is included in the 2021 budget for this project. And we can go over the quotes for the options here. So quote number 1, and I've included the pictures there for anybody who wants to have a look. Quote number 1 was from Henderson Recreation, was $48,299 plus tax. Quote 2 from Henderson Recreation was $47,944 plus tax. Quote number 3 is from ABC Recreation. They are at $51,398.70 plus tax. And quote number 4, or option number 4, also from ABC Recreation, came in at $48,221.34 plus tax. My recommendation here is to put 2 of the options out to the public via our Alnwick Haldeman Let's Talk for a 7-day period, so the community can choose what structure they would like at the park. We can obviously pick an option today if that's the route we want to go to speed things up a little bit. I just thought it's a good way for the community to, kind of pick exactly what park or option they want to have on the grounds.
My question to you, Chris, would be if these companies are doubling up, do you think that would cause a greater delay, or should we move forward? I'm just throwing that out there.
It's about an 8-week period from the time we select. So I would suggest if we're going to pick 2 options, my professional opinion is to select option 1 and 2. Those are both from the same company. I believe we get more product for our dollar with those 2. So with that being said, if we do put this out to the public for a week, if we're still selecting the 2 from the same company, I could let them know to book the installation crew. We just don't know exactly for another 7-day period what we're getting.
Yeah, for 7 days.
But they could put
And then that just adds another week on. It's June 1st now, and you're waiting 8 weeks. It'd be the end of July.
That's correct.
Anyway, Deputy Mayor Gibson's got her hand up.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Mayor Latchford, Chris. Just a couple questions, Chris. These quotes include like the preparation of the ground, or is that our Public Works doing that?
No, these quotes are from for the company to complete everything. So they would come in, excavate the property, to a desired depth based on the engineered drawings. They would then install engineered wood fiber as a base. So it's from start to finish by the company. There would be no parks or public works hours involved.
Okay, and this does include what the picture shows as, for lack of a better word, the flooring?
That's correct. Yeah, that's there's different surfacing material. This one is engineered wood fiber, which would be exactly what we have at the arena playground and as well as what we have in Burnaby. It's
Okay.
also the most popular surfacing.
Okay, I took it upon myself to poll some of the residents that live along in that community, the Sandy Bay community, and they're in agreement, Chris, with your recommendation. It was kind of split. I guess I got nine replies from people. 4 were for option 1, 3 were for option 2, and 2 were fine with either option 1 or 2. So the only comment that I received back in addition to that was that it would be nice at some point to put some adult exercise equipment somewhere in that area. It's a pretty active community down there, and it would probably get used, but they're excited to see this move ahead. It's been a long time, and so for what it's worth, that little community has voted for that. And I think really, I also asked a few people with small kids. They thought option 1 and 2 also, that 3 and 4 looked fun, but really didn't offer the same amount of options for kids to play on. So I'm okay with your recommendation. And I guess really, if you wanted to put it out for 7-day, we've got that platform. I think we should be asking for input. But we'll bring that back at our next meeting, which is, what date is that? The 17th. So we're not too far into it. It would get in before the end of summer, hopefully. I guess it just saves us a couple of weeks if we make that decision now, but I'd be interested to hear what the other members have to say.
Councillor Booth?
Good report, Chris. I like the option, like you said, about if we decide, Deputy Mayor Sherry Gibson said with option 1 and 2, it's the same company. So you're saying you can call them and then at least arrange an install date, and then 7 days later or 2 weeks later, we just tell them which one we want. So it probably, 7 days probably won't make too much of a difference, if anything.
No, that's, I could definitely make a phone call after this meeting today if that's the route we're going, and have them book the install crew anyway.
Yeah, and then we just get back to them with whatever the public decides, whether they want 1 or 2. I do have one question for you, Chris. Are all 4 of these all accessible?
Yes, they are. Actually, there should be a small accessibility symbol with Annex H, it's called, is the CSA document for playground structures. And to my knowledge, I believe they changed it in 2007. So anything beyond 2007, a play structure has to be installed with accessibility in mind. So all 4 of these options, yes, would be considered accessible.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Anything further from anyone? Seeing none. So the motion then would be and be received and filed, and further that council will put option 1 and 2 on Let's Talk Let's Talk, and Chris will go ahead and set up the dates since it's the same company, and we're waiting a week to hear back from the public. Is that good? Anything else to add to it? No, you're all in favor of that? Okay, I'm going to call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Okay.
Councillor Phillip?
Yay.
Counselor Booth,
Yay.
Counselor Hogg,
Yay.
and I'm in favor. That's carried. So they'll be looking forward and anxious to seeing that. Chris, you will too.
Yeah, I think as a staff point of view, me and my team are pretty excited for the seating transformation. So exciting.
That's
I
good.
do have a few verbal updates if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
So I have three things here. One I wanted to talk about was the Wicklow dredging project. So the dredging is completed, the actual dredging portion of it. Our Public Works Department is finishing by the end of the week removal of all the sediment that was left on site to dry out. And then Parks and Recreation staff will go tomorrow afternoon to add some soil and seed to kind of put the finishing touches on it. So that's 100% complete as of tomorrow. It came back, we used about, I'll say roughly half of the dredging reserve. So very happy with that number as well. The second thing I wanted to talk about was just kind of an update to the provincial guidelines as far as Parks and Recreation is considered. So the majority of our play structures, parks, ball diamonds are open. And I'm happy with our current plan that is in place, our safety plan, our return to recreation plan, I believe we called it. So the new step process, it doesn't look like until step 2 that we'll be able to resume baseball activities at the Haldeman Memorial Arena and Park. So right now that's projected at the second week of July. So if updates need to be made to our safety plan, I will bring that back to council before that date. But currently happy with how it sits, and I think we're covered. The
Good.
third thing I wanted to talk about, it was brought to my attention by a resident about a property on the corner of Edgewater and Grandview Drive on Rice Lake. So I looked into this property a little bit. It seems that it was a designated parkland for that subdivision. And I've been dealing with Jennifer Current, who's been giving me some information. It looks like it's about 90% protected by Lower Trent Conservation Authority. But with that being said, I just wanted to get it on everyone's radar. I think there's definitely some improvements we can make there. That's something that maybe we should look at during the 2020 budget session. In the meantime, I think it's something that internally, my staff, my team, we should be cutting the grass there to, make it more of a park setting. So I got to pop out there tomorrow morning to have a look, but I think it's something we need to keep on our radar for 2020 budget season. And it's something that my team will start maintaining on a weekly basis like everything else.
Okay, so that's at Roseneath Landing.
That's correct.
Yes, okay. Just in case some people listening aren't aware of that. I think that's a good idea. We've actually had people before comment about that piece of property. So good you're moving on it. Do we need a motion, Pat, for Chris to move forward with that piece of property? As it hasn't been anything you've done in the past, has it, Chris?
No, not something we've historically maintained. I still have to look into things a little bit, but I think it's something where, we can put one of our park signs, we can start maintaining it weekly. I believe there's some tree work that needs to be done on that property. And maybe it's something during 2020 that we look into putting some kind of a structure, maybe a play structure down the road, but maybe we look at, a couple park benches or a garden or something in the meantime.
Okay. Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, Mayor Latchford, you should have a motion to direct staff.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Gibbs? Oh, you're
I'll make
making the motion?
for the Parks Department to move ahead and provide maintenance to that lot on Edgewater and Grandview. And that's great to see you moving ahead with that, Chris.
Okay, can I have a second to that motion? Councillor Phil? Okay. And once you look at it, you'll report back to us with some of your suggestions?
I'll have a report on the following council meeting.
Okay, thanks. We'll wait for that report. I'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hawk,
Yay.
and myself in favor. That's carried. Might be a nice place too, because it is a nice piece of property and it's low there. I like the idea of the benches and whatnot, but there's a lot of natural things as well as your some of the park equipment that we just looked at, but things done naturally that are attractive as well.
Can I ask?
Just a suggestion. Yeah, you can. What do you want?
Yes, through the mayor. I have a question that I think Troy may be able to update us on, and it is indirect to our last report, and that is the culvert work that was done or is to be done. Has it been completed yet down there near the boat launch? I know that was a major, and the road has been completed there. So I'm just wondering whether that's been done and I missed it, or that's to be done yet.
At Wicklow.
At Wicklow, yes.
The Wicklow culvert is to be done, will be done in 2022. Because of the sensitive areas all the way around, the permits had to be engineered, and the cost is much greater than we first anticipated. So it will be done through Brian and Public Works in 2022. The road has been done, surface treated, but when there's a new culvert, we'll put asphalt over top of that culvert to prolong the life of the culvert. So,
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Troy. Deputy Mayor Gibson.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, to Chris. Chris, can you give a little update on the status of the parking lot down at Sandy Bay Park? I've had numerous people kind of stop in conversation and ask me about whether there's more yet to be done, and I quite frankly couldn't answer that question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the parking lot, our Public Works did in-house in the fall. They put the cedar posts in, but there still has to be room for access into the park, whether it be for, grass maintenance, emergency vehicles that may have to get down to the water. So we do still have to leave access. I was up there yesterday, and I think what we're going to do in the meantime is get a chain to go across that property and post a sign for now, just stating no vehicle access beyond this point. And then the other side of the parking lot needs some soil to backfill it. So we didn't want to put the finishing touches on the park and then have the construction crew for the playground install come and tear it all up again. So we're going to leave it the way it is. And then once the playground is installed, we'll put the finishing touches on everything to make sure everything is, smooth and looking really good.
Yeah, I guess the concern for some of the people that live around that area is without a gate on the, that opening into the park, there is late night partying and garbage and noise. So I'll just encourage people, if they've got complaints, to put them on the complaints form on the website, and then you can handle it appropriately. So, but thanks. That's a great update, and I think that's that's a nice little area to get beautified. What about the beach area? Are we, as a township, are we allowed to kind of rake that out and put some more sand in there?
I can look into that. There would definitely be a few permits that would have to be completed. So maybe first step would be to contact Lower Trent Conservation and just see if that's something that they would allow. But there could be some issues bringing outside material into a waterfront. But again, I'm not sure. I can contact Lower Trent for kind of step project.
Over time, the beach area of that waterfront has gotten a little bit messed up, eroded, and the sand is washed away. So, maybe not even dumping sand, but keeping that area cleaned up. I've actually had residents ask me if they can, go down and rake it up. So I don't imagine you don't mind the help down there if somebody goes down with a rake if they're so inclined?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Definitely remind my team to make sure that we're looking after the waterfront area as well.
Well, it's kind of the wash up from spring too, and it takes a bit. So that's good. Okay, thank you.
Is there much of a current there, Sherry?
No,
No.
no, you
So
can
thank goodness.
walk out a fair way in that little bay without it getting too deep. It's a great spot for young people.
Yeah, the little kids too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay. I think we're finished with you, Chris, now. One little report and look at all you got. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, item 12.1. This is a report from Pat Kemp, acting clerk, June 3rd. And this is a delegation request at the AMO conference. Be it resolved that the report from Pat Kemp, acting clerk, dated June 3rd, 2021, redelegation request AMO conference, August 15th to 18th, 2021, be received and filed, and further direction is required. And what Pat is asking us is if we want a delegation at the AMO conference, because she'd have to book it. Is there anyone interested in attending the AMO conference in August? It's virtual. Seeing none. So I would think that we won't be having a delegation at the AMO conference.
Great, thank you, members of council.
Pardon?
I just said thank you, members of council.
Okay. I need a mover and a seconder, please.
I'll make that motion. Councillor Booth.
Councillor Booth, and second? Councillor Phil? Okay,
Can I just ask a question? to Pat?
certainly.
Through you, your worship, to Pat. Pat, is there a cost for this? Do they charge
No.
delegates?
Not for the delegation to meet with the ministers. If you were to attend the AMO conference, yes, there is a registration fee,
Okay,
but you don't have
Thank
to
you.
be registered in order to have a meeting request with the minister.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Calling for the vote, Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself. That's carried unanimously. And item 13, the first one is Olmec Haldeman Police Services Board minutes of April 23rd. Read the OPP detachment board structure. Be it resolved that the Olmec Haldeman Police Services Board minutes of April 23rd, 2021 be received and filed. And further, that the recommendation of a single OPP detachment board structure be approved. And that is the 5 rural municipalities in Northumberland becoming one board. I have more information on this, but if I can get the motion on the floor, please. Moved
I'll make that motion.
by Councillor Hogg, second by Deputy Mayor Gibson. Okay. I'll just, the police services boards have been working on this. We started out a couple of years ago, and when the election changed and COVID hit, it petered off. So recently, the Solicitor General, Sylvia Jones, sent this back out to us, all the rural police services boards, OPP boards in Ontario under the legislation of the Community Safety and Policing Act. So the 5 police services boards in our area, Brighton, Crammy, Trent Hills, Olmec Haldeman, and Hamilton, have worked on this. Council had approved as well. The Single Police Services Board. And we're to the stage now where we're ready to send this back to the Solicitor General in that we're ready to move on with it. Part of the model was the work that the Northumberland County group had done before, but this government made sure it was 5 members, 1 from each municipal council. They added the First Nations to have a representative, and there will now be 2 members appointed by the province and 2 community members that will be appointed through the 5 municipalities. And that will, the 2 who are appointed as through the municipalities may come to the new Police Services Board. We're not sure about that yet. We're not sure if we can do that, but that was the suggestion. So Hamilton Township, they will be the municipality responding on the behalf of the 5 municipalities. I've written a press release. We discussed the press release and a sample was sent out. So it's basically the same as what the other municipalities will release as well. And so I'd like to thank Council for supporting that. And I would also like to thank the Police Service Board members and our municipality who worked towards this and have supported it from the start. So is there any questions, any further questions? Councillor Booth?
Just a quick question to you, Your Worship. Is this amalgamation going to save money or cost us more money? You would think by just looking at it, it's less meetings, but
it's less meetings. So in one way that will save money. On the other hand, it may require a 0.5 or less staff person to look after it all. So because it'll all come into one administrative person.
so I guess that'll all be decided once they meet and what it's going to financially cost us.
Yes. And the ministry may have something to say about that as well, because there's going to be, for the members to be on, it's they can be on 8 years and then they need to go off. That's the length of time. And we could have a member of council be our representative, or a council can appoint a member from the community. So the pay will be significantly higher, I would think, with the responsibilities that this group is going to get, higher than the amount of money that we make for a meeting at this time, but there will be less members. And it probably will require, as I said, that 0.5 administrative person. I can't see it being less money. Nothing's ever less money. There'll be a lot more responsibility for this group. So less meetings. We basically go over, each municipality basically goes over the entire report from our detachment commander at our meetings. We reduced our meetings this year to quarterly, but we get all the information from the other municipalities, the OPP municipalities in Northumberland County. So it's a lot of repetitive work for the service.
So I guess they'll report back to us when they find out how much more it's going to cost us. I find it funny, right, with amalgamation and that you think you're going to save money and you end up paying a lot more.
Hopefully it's not a lot more. hopefully it's,
Well, it's starting to sound like it's a little bit more once you start to
well,
hire.
it will be. I'm
And I
sure
hope
it will
it's
be.
not an empire building type thing where we go from, you know, these 5 committees to all of a sudden we've got something big that's going to cost us thousands and thousands, but we'll wait and see.
Well, that's not the expectation at this point. Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Yeah, just along that train of thought, what was the staff person, what was the FTE of the staff person who's looking after the board as it exists now? Do you know?
For us to be on the board? For
Yeah,
our own?
yeah,
So as members, Mike and I would, at the same as what we get for a meeting, $75 to attend a police service board meeting. Our clerical person gets $1,800 a year.
so there'll be those cost savings with each of the municipalities that'll have to factored in.
Yes,
And
and
then-
some municipalities are paid more than what we were, some were paid a bit less.
Right. So it all, maybe it won't come out in the wash, but one will somewhat offset the other.
Yes,
So may not be as bad as what, you know, the 0.5 may not be as bad as what it originally appears,
right.
if that happens.
Councillor Booth?
So I guess, so we have like a secretary, right? There's a board secretary attends our meeting and they get a per diem, right?
Yes, 1,800 annually.
So if we're 1,800 and roughly the other ones are the same, wouldn't that just, like Councillor, Deputy Mayor said, it would sort of be a wash, or is, because they're doing less meetings, so there's not, you know, you're not doing 5 meetings in a month, you're doing 1 a month. Wouldn't that money just go towards that and they don't have to hire a staff? Like, is it the same board person on all 5 right now, or is it a different person for each committee?
For the administrator?
For the board secretary, like you have a,
Oh, yes, that's one for each municipality.
yeah, is it the same person now that,
No, we have one,
and so
And
Grammys would be different?
Grammy. Yeah,
So that person wouldn't be attending anymore then, right? That position is gone.
unless, that position is gone unless one of those people were to apply for it.
Okay.
So,
Yes,
but
we'll
the thing
see.
that I can say is we don't know this 100%, but we're anticipating that with the more responsibility the actual members will get of this single police service board, they will, we're thinking the province will likely set the amount of money they'll be getting. So we're expecting those members to be paid more, but you'll have 1 and you'll have 2 from the province and 2 at large across the 5. So they'll be getting more than $75 or $100 a meeting, we think.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a press release ready as well, which when the meeting's over, I'm going to send it out to our media, or get Yolanda to. And they're all basically the same. So we had a good crew working on this. It was, I really enjoyed it, and we came a long way. Okay, I'm going to, if there's no further questions, I'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself, that's carried. Item 14, and this is correspondence from Renee Cameron. She's the principal at Grafton Public School. And she's requesting a road closure for the grade 8 graduation so they can have a vehicle parade. And has that come to you, Troy?
I have correspondence that it'll take place on June 28th. And the Grafton Public School will get permission from OPP. And my recommendation to them is they need to contact Brian for our township and also the county. So I did this last year, pretty basic, pretty smooth. It's just making sure all parties are aware of what's happening. So did it last year.
Okay, so you responded to Renee then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And there's 30 graduates from the grade 8 Grafton Public School this year. Okay, could I have a mover on that then, please? Be it resolved that the correspondence from Renee Cameron, Principal, Grafton Public School, dated May 18th, 2021, grade 8 graduation parade, be received and filed, and further that council approves as per staff and
I'll move.
OPP.
Mike Phillip will move.
Okay, second. Deputy Mayor Gibson, any further comments or questions?
Just a comment, Mayor Lashford. In regard to the request for a video message, have you given thought to that?
Yes, I told her I would do that. I did it last year for them as well. And for Roseneath School as well. Does the whole of council want to be part of that? Or anybody else? I just had a little video done and sent it to them last year.
Yeah, no, I think that it comes from the mayor. I think that's appropriate.
Okay, but you're all
I'm
welcome.
happy
if you
you
change-
speaking on behalf of.
Okay, but you're more than welcome. I'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself, so that's carried. And item 14.2, correspondence from Kate Smith, Deputy Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Be it resolved that the correspondence from Kate Manson Smith, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, dated May 27th, 2021, reads a 3-step roadmap to safety, reopening the province of Ontario amendments to orders under the Reopening Ontario, in brackets, a flexible response to COVID-19 Act, ROA, be received and filed. Have a mover, please.
I can move that, Councillor Hogg.
Thank you. Second?
You can second that, Councillor Phillip.
Okay. I think we've had quite a bit on this, but is there any comments or questions? Anybody'd like to comment on? Seeing none. All in favor? Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
Councillor Booth.
Yay.
Whoops. And myself, that's carried. I'll try hard not to do that. Bylaws, item 15. So 15.1, this is a bylaw to appoint Pat Kempt as our acting clerk. Be it resolved that bylaw number 66-2021, being a bylaw to appoint Pat Kempt as acting clerk for the Corporation of the Township of Alnwick-Haldeman, effective May 25, 2021, be read and deemed to be passed this 3rd day of June 2021. Do I have a mover, please?
So moved. Deputy Mayor Gibson.
Second?
Councillor Hogg, a second.
Thank
Go.
you. Welcome, Pat. We're looking forward to working with you. I'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself in favor. That's carried. 15.2, the bylaw number 71-2021, and this is the bylaw to appoint a full-time fire chief and community emergency management coordinator for the township of Alma-Calderman. Be it resolved that bylaw number 71-2021, being a bylaw to appoint a full-time fire chief and community emergency management coordinator for the Township of Alma-Calderman Fire Rescue Department, effective May 31st, 2021, be read and deemed to be passed this third day of June, 2021. And we're appointing David Dawson. And the schedule for Fire Chief CEMC as well is attached. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll make
I'll move
that.
that, Councillor Phillip.
Oh, Greg moved. Councillor Phillip, you can second. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments? We'd like to welcome Dave. Look forward to working to him as well. And my understanding is he'll be at our next meeting. Okay. All in favor? Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Yay.
Sorry, I missed if anybody had any further comments. Seeing none? Okay. Councillor Phillip?
Yay.
Councillor Booth?
Yay.
Councillor Hogg?
Yay.
And myself, so that's carried. And we have our addendum. I put it aside so I'd have it. There it is. Our addendum for today's meeting is the approval of the application for Richard Novak to become the community member of the Northumberland West Physicians Recruitment Committee, subject to his police check. Have a mover?
So moved.
Deputy Mayor Gibson. Second,
Second that, Councillor Booth.
Councillor Booth, thank you. And I'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson,
Yay.
Councillor Phillip,
Yay.
Councillor Booth,
Yay.
Councillor Hogg,
Yay.
and myself, that's carried. So he'll be able to start at what meeting, Sherry?
He should be able to start at the next meeting, but I don't have notification at this point when that is.
Okay, good. I'm glad to see that we got a community member, got that position replaced.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have that addition.
Yes, so welcome him on behalf of our township and thank him for volunteering for that.
Thank you.
It's a nice committee to be on. Okay, now the other thing I want to do before we go into announcements, I was going to wait for my turn on the announcements, but I think these are important to do, to have them recorded in the minutes. June is National Indigenous History Month. And the month of June is recognized as National Indigenous History Month, and it's an opportunity for us to celebrate the unique heritage, diverse cultures, distinctive languages, and the spiritual beliefs of Indigenous people, as well as their exceptional contributions, past and present, that continue to enrich our community. Alma-Calderman Township has been honored to learn about the history of the Alderville First Nation and the Mississauga Anishinaabe, and recognize the proud heritage and outstanding achievements of the people of Alderville First Nation. I'd also like to add to the Indigenous History Month that on June 21st is Indigenous Peoples Day, and it marks the 25th anniversary of celebrating the heritage, diverse cultures, and outstanding achievements of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Indigenous Peoples Day is a time to reflect on and celebrate the unique heritage, diverse cultures, and the outstanding contributions of Indigenous groups across Canada. And the next one is Seniors Month. It's the month of June also. And it's recognized in Ontario and is an annual nationwide celebration as well. This year's theme is Stay Safe, Active, and Connected. We recognize our seniors and the contributions they make in the life and vibrancy of Alma-Calderman Township. They contribute immensely to our township as active leaders, mentors, volunteers, and their past and present contributions warrant appreciation and recognition. So that's for the seniors. And the other one, June is Pride Month. Just a second. Here it is. Sorry. June is also the Pride Month. So June is recognized as Pride Month in Canada and around the world as an opportunity to celebrate sexual diversity, promote equal rights, and build awareness of the challenges faced by the LGBTQ2S and the community. Pride Month is an opportunity to prevent discrimination and promote acceptance and inclusion of all, and to support the development of harmonious and respectful relationships amongst all members of the community. During Pride Month, we can all reflect on the progress made to recognize and protect the rights of LGBTQ2S and the communities, and the work that still needs to be done. Okay, thank you. Any comments from anyone else that you'd like to recognize or say? Seeing none. Announcements and notices of motions. Deputy Mayor Gibson.
Okay, I've got a couple of things here. First of all, I just wanted to remind everybody about the first Recreation and Culture Committee meeting on Monday evening at 7. I think you all got an invite to that virtual meeting. It would be great to have everybody there and be able to meet the committee in person. So I will be chairing that first meeting until that group, at the end of the meeting, that group will choose their chair and vice chair, and I imagine they'll take off from there. So I'm looking forward to that. One thing I just wanted to throw out, and I don't know if this is possible or not, but I was just wondering for the people following along live streaming with us, would it be beneficial to be sharing our agenda on screen with them? And I don't know if that's something that other municipalities do. It's just a thought, and I don't really need an answer. I just thought maybe something that you could mull over and, you know, staff could think about and decide.
Councillor Gibson, sorry, and let me interject. So if people do want to see the agenda as well as the live stream taking place, they can go onto the council portal on our website. And when they click the video button, so they'd have to go to the meetings portal, there is a video button right where the agenda is. And what it does is a split screen of the agenda as well as the live stream. So they have that ability.
Thanks, Yolanda. That's great to know. Okay, and I have one more thing. And typically I just kind of speak from the heart, but this was really important. So I've made some notes and I will be reading this through. Recently, I learned St. Anne was appealing to their clients for support to reopen through communication to Premier Ford. This prompted me to email owner Jim Corcoran and a subsequent phone call discussing the current state they found themselves in. You may have listened last evening as Global News interviewed Jim. St. Anne's is an important and vibrant business to the economy of Alnwick-Haldeman. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge their contributions to our community. They host in our beautiful rural township an alternative health and wellness destination spa, a member in a small, distinct industry not yet fully recognized at this time. They provide indoor and outdoor wellness activities, nourishment, and therapies to 120 guests daily during normal operations. They employ 250 staff in a variety of positions with a bi-weekly payroll of $250,000. They have an exceptional track record for health and safety. They pay their taxes. They have been generous sponsors of Alnwick-Haldeman events. They contribute to the spin-off economy of our township as well as Northumberland County. They've helped to put us on the map. They've paved the way for sister industries such as Northumberland Heights and Whispering Springs. I would like to make the following motion on behalf of these distinctive businesses, and given the time-sensitive nature of Ontario's reopening plan, I would hope that you would support this. To Honourable Minister Lisa MacLeod, Ministry of Heritage, Sport, Tourism and Culture Industries, and MPP David Piccini. To Honourable Minister Melanie Jolly, Minister of Economic Development, and MP Philip Lawrence, and to Northumberland County Council. Alnwick-Haldeman respectfully requests that alternative health and wellness destination spas be identified as a distinct industry for the contributions they make to health and wellness. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that. Councillor Hogg.
Okay. Now I just have to verify, is this a motion that we can put through today, or does it need to be a notice of motion? Who am I asking? Pat?
It typically would be a notice of motion and go forward. However, if it is time sensitive, then it's up to council to vote on whether or not you want to proceed and allow it at this time.
Okay, how do you feel, Deputy Mayor Gibson? Time sensitive or?
I think it is time sensitive with Ontario's reopening plan coming into force. And you know, there may not be anything that the province or, you know, federally we can do that they can do quickly to recognize these distinct industries, but it gets it on the table for their discussions. And I'd like to see it passed today. I'd like to see it supported today, if possible.
Okay. I know at the county level with tourism, I think it's more of a tourist destination, and you're wanting it to be more distinct to be health and wellness. And there's a number through the province, and they may, you know, other businesses such as this, I think would also approve and be happy to recognize their businesses in their municipalities as well. So I'm okay if the rest of council is okay that this motion be passed today. Pat might have to guide us through the process, or can we just pass the motion, Pat, due to it being time sensitive? Do we have to add that to Sherry's motion?
You could add that to Sherry's motion to add weight to it, but you just need to take the vote once you proceed with the motion.
Okay. So she's made the motion. Do you want to read it again, Sherry? And add that you want this time, as it is time sensitive?
So I'll just read where it starts here. I would like to make the following motion on behalf of these distinctive businesses, given the time-sensitive nature of Ontario's reopening plan. So it lists the ministries that it goes to. I don't know if you would like me to repeat that.
No, that's okay.
Okay. We respectfully request that alternative health and wellness destination spas be identified as a distinct industry for the contributions they make to health and wellness. So I can add into that part of the motion that given the time-sensitive nature of Ontario's reopening plan, that this proceed today.
Okay. And Jim, you were the seconder of that motion. Are you okay with those changes?
I am.
Okay. Then I can call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Yay.
Councillor Phillip?
Yay.
Councillor Booth?
Yay.
Councillor Hogg?
Yay.
And myself in favor. Good. Anything else, Sherry?
That's all for today. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Phillip, do you have anything today?
I have nothing at this time.
Councillor Booth?
No, nothing at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Hogg?
I have nothing either at this time.
Okay. The only thing that I have today is I'm a member of the Northumberland County's Economic Development and Planning Committee. And yesterday, just after us having completed the cannabis bylaw, I've got some more information. I think it might be interesting for some of us to see it, just how it's broken down, and it's the other municipalities, what they've done as well. I'm sure Jennifer has all this and has seen it herself, but with the charts and whatnot, I would just like I'm going to give it to Jennifer and see if she thinks that she should put it out to us just the way it is, just for information's sake. It's the municipality of Whitewater Stouffville. How's that it? Was that it, Greg? I gave it to you. There was a couple on there. Anyways, it was fairly interesting having just done ours, so you might be interested in it. So I am going to pass that on to our planner Jennifer Current, and see what she thinks about it, and if it should be circulated just as information to the council. We're not the only one in the same boat. That's all I have for today. Is there anything else? Seeing nothing, we can do the confirming of our approval of our confirming bylaw. Bylaw number 7221, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings and regular session of council held on June 3rd, 2021. Be read and deemed passed this third day of June, 2021. Have a mover, please.
So moved.
Deputy Mayor Gibson, second.
Councillor Hogg, second.
Okay, all in favor? Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Yay.
Councillor Phillip?
Yay.
Councillor Booth?
Yay.
Councillor Hogg?
Yay.
And myself. All in favor, that's carried. The adjournment, Be it resolved that the regular session of council on June 3rd, 2021 be adjourned at 2:03 PM. And there's no in-camera session today, so we can adjourn. Have a mover, please.
I'll make that motion, Councillor Philip.
Okay, and I see Councillor Booth is seconding it. All in favor? By show of hands? Carried. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You too.
Well, happy Father's Day. This is Father's Day weekend,
Is
Oh,
it?
Huh.
isn't it?
Didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, it's the 20th or something, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's too early for Father's Day. It can't be.
Oh, we could have 2 Father's Days. That'd
We
be
have
okay.
2 Father's Day. Yeah, I'm ahead. It's the 3rd week, right?
Yeah, I think Father's Day is every Sunday, actually.
Well, really it is. That's why I got mixed up. And I was thinking June's Father's Day month and I wanted to mention it. So check my calendar again.
Yeah. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, bye-bye.
I got invited out for Father's Day, so I just